Good day. How are you now? If you can still remember that we are now entering into the psychological view of self. In the previous discussion, we've been talking also of the point of view of Jean Piaget towards the cognitive development of our children, especially including ourselves, because we came from from the children or galing tayo sa pagkabata hanggang sa kasalukuyan. May kanya-kanya na tayong sapat na pag-iisip at may kanya-kanya tayong tamang pag-iisip. This day, we're going to talk still the four stages of cognitive development according to Jean Piaget. Let's continue. Children go through four main learning stages. According to Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive development, one of the main goals of his theory is to comprehend the nature of intelligence, as well as how children gain knowledge. These are the four stages of Jean Piaget's cognitive development. One, sensorimotor stage from birth to 2 years old. Second, preoperational stage from ages 2 to 7 years old. Third, concrete operational stage from ages 7 to 11 years old. And the fourth one is formal operational stage, ages 12 and up. Piaget taught that children participate actively in their education, functioning much like young scientists as they conduct experiments, record observations, and gain knowledge of their surroundings. Kids constantly acquire new knowledge, expand from their existing knowledge, and modify their preconceived notions in order to take into account new information as they interact with the world around them. For example, I do believe that you knew this. This is an earphone. Now, children are very imaginative because they see a doctor holding a stethoscope. Then the doctor put it in their neck. Pag nakita niya ng bata, gagayahin niya. Tapos nilagay ng doctor yung dalawang dito. Ganun-ganyan. Inhale. Okay. Ganun. Ginagaya-gaya yan ng mga bata. Do not scold them. No reprimand them. Try to observe what they're doing. They're very experimental. This, for example, this is a case eyeglasses. Tapos nakita ka na, nilagay dito yung jewelries mo. The kid will going to look up into it, and then they're going to find some ways. Then they're going to put something here, as if that this is a jewelry box, because they assimilated also that these things has something to do with those things that you keep on letting them to see on their naked eyes. Now, let's go back with the four stages. Let's try with the phase one or stage one, sensorimotor. Infants and toddlers learn throughout this formative era of cognitive development by handling things and engaging in sensory experiences. At the earliest stages of this stage, a kid experiences everything through simple reflexes, perceptions, and motor reactions. From 0 to 2 years of age, principal traits and developmental shifts at this stage gain awareness of the world through motion and feelings, acquire knowledge through of the world by simple movements like sucking, grabbing the things, seeing the people surrounded, and hearing. Hello, baby. How are you? Even that they cannot see you, they are going to look up into it. They are going to find your voice. Try to observe your animals, your dogs, your cats, even kinds of animals. If they can hear your voice, look at their tail. It keeps on going. Then how much more? The children that you keep on rearing, the children that telling you to do this and to do that, how much more that human being can think the way You let them to see that things surrounds them, it will register to their cognitive level. They cannot say it, they can express it, but they can feel it. Be careful. Recognize that even when something is invisible, it is still exists. Object permanence. Sabi ko sa inyo, pag hindi niya nakikita, pag nakikita na yan, kahit sabihin natin wala yan, matatandaan pa rin niya. Kaya be careful sa mga bagay-bagay na pinapapakita natin sa kanila. Yung kutsilyo, especially the sharp things like kutsilyo or knife, do not let the 0 to 2 hanggang 7 years old without further explanation, especially the 0 to 2 years old, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Baka masugatan yung mga kamay nila o baka maputol yung mga daliri nila. Kasi nag-i-slice ka, akala na yung daliri mo gina-slice mo. Not knowingly, naghihiwa ka pala ng mga ingredients, ng mga kasangkapan para sa paglulutuin mo. Kaya ingat tayo doon. Be aware that what they do can have an impact on the world around them. Kahit ano pang gawin mo, malaking impact yun sa sarili nila, sa mundo nila. Kahit may sariling mundo yung bata, akala mo meron, wala. Kasi you cannot think like a 2-year-old the way you look at them. Na 2 years old sila, 1-year-old sila. Masarap maging bata. Mahirap kung maging isip bata tayo sa edad natin ngayon. Ay nako, huwag naman ganun. Becoming aware that they are separate from the people and things around them. Kaya ingat tayo dito parati. Okay? So, let's continue. Children go through a period of significant learning and growth throughout the sensorimotor stage. Kids constantly learn new things about how the world functions as they engage with it. As they engage with it, be careful. Okay? During this phase, a large lot of growth is involved in the relatively rapid cognitive development that takes place. In addition to learning physical skills like crawling, yung gumagapang sa sahig, and walking, tinuturuan natin maglakad pero magalit ka. Pag umaalis na ng bahay, nagagalit ka na. Ikaw may kasalanan yun, tinuturuan mo maglakad eh. Children also pick up a lot about language from the people they engage with. Kaya be careful tayo sa mga nila. Chubanes, Echus, Jude, wag magganon ng mga lingwahe. Ginagaya nila yan. Be careful of the harsh words that we are uttering. Kaya nagtataka ka, bakit ang bata-bata mo pa? Ang galing-galing mo nang magsalita ng mga maanghang. Saan ba yan galing? Sa'yo din na magulang, sa'yo din na ate, sa'yo din na kuya. Ikaw ang nagturo sa kanila para makapagsalita ng mga hindi magagandang word. Panay tayo, bukang bibig ng sa mga pangit na mga word. We keep on uttering and cursing words which is not appropriate to the age of the people surrounds us, especially the children. We are talking now. Your children, your younger sisters, your younger brothers, your siblings na mga maliliit pa, na sensitive pa masyado ang cognitive development, especially for those who had a kids already. Be careful, nanay, tatay. And for those nanay who are listening, sana wag naman tayo magsalita ng kahit anong mga words na hindi maganda. Panay tayo sabi ng mga tut, ina, buwisit, animal, hayop ka, ginagaya ka na ngayon, pero ikaw may kasalanan nun, hindi yung bata. Kasi very adaptive sila masyado sa pandinig. Kaya ingat tayo masyado. Next. This level was further divided into smaller divisions by Piaget. During the last phase of the sensory stage, early representational thought begins to take shape. At this stage of development, Piaget thought it was crucial for children to learn about object permanence, also known as object constancy, which is the idea that objects exist even when they are hidden from view. Kahit itago mo pa yan siya, Magtaka ka, mag-iyak siya kasi gusto niya kunin yung pacifier niya, gusto niya kunin halimbawa, ito yung binibigay mo sa kanya, tapos gina-spray mo, tapos naglalaro, naglilibang na siya, hindi niya alam kung ano yun, tapos kinuha mo bigla, maghahanap na mag-iyak. Minsan yung papa at mama niya, kaya minsan yung mga traditional ngayon, pag nagtatrabaho si papa sa malayong lugar, iniiwanan yung damit na kakahubad lang niya or ni mama, kakahubad na para amuyin ng bata kasi yun ang mga kinagisnan natin. Kasi yun ang object permanent sa kanilang naked eyes. Tapos biglang mawala. Iyak-iyak sila, hindi makatulog. Yun lang ang ginagamit ng mga kanininuan natin. Eh, totoo naman sa iba. Ewan ka lang sa'yo. Hindi kita pinipilit na gawin mo yun. And tested and proven by myself also na iniwanan ko din yung damit, na inubad ko na damit yung anak ko pangalawa. Ayun, parang wari pakiramdam niya, nasa tabi lang niya ako parati. Kanya niya sinasabi, hug ako damit daddy, hug ako damit daddy. So therefore, the presence of my smell sa damit na yun andun pa rin. Nilalaban pa rin of course. Pero nakita niya kasi na object na yun, na sinuot ko na yun, alam niya sa akin yun. Kaya ma-identify niya kahit yung kulay noon, kahit tsura ng akin yun. Kasi nakita ng naked eyes niya. Gusto niya pa din suotin. Okay? Children are then able to start giving names and words to objects once they discover that objects are unique and distinct entities that they have an existence of their own outside of individual perspective. Papa, Papa, damit, Papa, Papa. Hawakan nila tong eyeglass, Papa. Pag nakita mo, Papa, Mama, kasi si Mama ang may hawak, lahat binibigyan na ng pangalan. Kaya huwag kang magtampo kung bukang bibig ng bata, it's Mama or Papa. Kailangan ikaw din makikita niya. Okay? The second stage, preoperational. The preoperational stage of development is characterized in large part by the emergence of language. Even though the groundwork for its development may have been built during the prior stage. Now, between 2 to 7 years old, the following are the stage's main traits and developmental changes. Let's go. Acquire the ability to conceptually portray things using words and images. Happy. Portray things and images. Pag maganon ka, pray. Pag maganon ka, bye-bye. Flying kiss. Mwah. Big fist. Align. Thumbs up. Hello. Ayan. Marami na dito. Hanggang they grow. Until 7 years old, magbabago din yun. Have a propensity of egotism and find it challenging to consider other people's viewpoints. Be careful tayo dito. Improving in both language and thought. But I still tend to think in very concrete terms. Both language and thought. Saan si mama? Ha? Ha? Hahanapin ka. Akin to, magagalit siya. Ayan. Kaya huwag niyong galitin ang bata. Kung ayaw mong buong magdamag ka, magkanta darapa sa kakahele kasi hindi na huminto sa pag-iyak. Buti nga sa'yo. Kasi mahilig namang nukso ng mga bata. Pag nag-iyak na yan, hindi ka na marunong magpatahan. Hanapin nyo kung anong kilitin ng anak nyo. Hanapin nyo kung anong kilitin ng mga younger siblings nyo. Hanapin nyo kung anong paboritong hele nila. Kasi yung late son ko at saka yung anak ko, parehas lang sila ng hele. The alphabets. And at saka yung kantang mula nang makilala ka, aking yun ang mga favorite heles na ginagawa ng aking mga anak. Nas panay nilang marinig sa akin. Ito yung panay sinakanta ko sa mula nang makilala ka, aking mahal. Tapos ginapatulog ko yan. Di ako mapalagay sa kakaisip ko sa'yo. Panay ko yung pinapatulog sa kanila kanta. Ikaw, anong natutunan mong hele-hele? Ay nako. Kakabog-kabog ang utak ng bata, baka sasakit pa ng ulo ng bata. Okay? Kawawa naman yung kapatid niya, yung mga anak niya maliliit. You must learn also to sing the alphabets properly and correctly. The correct pronunciation of the letters and the correct pronunciation of the numbers. Example, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Pagkantahin mo yan. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABC. Next time when you sing with me. Next mong pagkanta, susunod na yan siya sa'yo. Ganun na yung bata. Nagtaka ka yung kinakanta niya. Yung naparinggan niya sa'yo, yun ang kinakanta niya. Kaya ingat tayo dito. Okay? Children at this stage learn through pretend play but still struggle with logic and considering other people's perspectives. They frequently have trouble comprehending the concept of consistency. During this period of development, children significantly improve their pretend play skills while continuing to think very specifically about their surroundings. Kaya ingat tayo sa nakapaligid sa atin. Malilit yung mga bata. Very adaptive sila masyado. Kaya huwag kayong magpatakan ng bitaw ng mga lingwaheng madali nilang i-adapt. Ikaw din magsisisi ka. Kaya ingat masyado. Very sensitive sila, very adaptive masyado. Later, I'm going to tell the schemas, the assimilation, the accommodation, para mas lalo natin maintindihan yung tatlong words na binabanggit ko ngayon. Schemas, assimilation, and accommodation. Then, let's continue. A researcher might, for instance, separate a lump of clay into two equal pieces before offering a youngster the option of playing with one or the other. The clay is divided into two equal pieces, one of which is compacted into a ball and the other of which is flattened into a pancake. Di ba bilog ang bola. Yung isa, flatten mo. Then, despite the fact that the two pieces are the same size, kasi natin mo lang yun, the little child will probably choose the one with the flat shape since it appears larger. So, halimbawa, pareha sila ng size. Ito, pareha siya. Ito ang shape niya. Ito pahaba. Pipiliin to ng bata kasi maliit ito. Tayo din eh. Pag may ulam tayo sa lamesa, tinitingnan natin yung malalaki. Pero parehas lang yun. Equal ang pagkahiwa nun. Minsan nakipag-competensya pa tayo kay bunso sa mga younger siblings natin. Minsan hindi tayo makontento ng isang slice na ulam. Gusto natin dalawa. Minsan, kinukuha pa natin yung share ni mama at papa. Minsan kay bunso. Kaya wag na tayo makipag-competent. Pag ulam-ulam na yan, manalangin na lang tayo, panalangin na natin bago tayo magkain. Pasalamatan natin sa poong may kapal. Pasalamatan din natin si mama at papa. Okay? Hindi porket payat, mataas. Hindi porket pandak, maliit. Pantay lang yun. Sa isip mo lang yun. Kaya huwag maduming mag-isip, ha? Aha. Okay? Now, how about the operational phase? The third stage. At this stage of development, kids are still very literal and concrete in their thinking, but they get much better at using logic. The egocentrism of the previous stage starts to fade as youngsters get better at considering how other people could view a situation. Between 7 to 11 years old, the principal traits and developmental shifts at this stage are the following. First, start approaching certain occurrences logically. Mama, ano nga ibig sabihin? Ma, pag si Papa, kanino talaga? Pag anak, ganun. Ano? Mainit ka agad ulo mo. Wag. Minsan nautal yung mga bata magtatanong, pero hindi ka marunong magsagot. Mama, Paano ako ginawa? O hindi ka magsagot. Kasi wari pakiramdam mo bastos na tanong. Mali. Sagutin sa tama. Kailangan may tamang pag-iisip at tamang pagpapaliwanag na hindi lalabas ng kabastusan. Kasi ikaw lang mag-isip ng bastos, ang bata hindi. Very curious ang bata sa pagtatanong dito na stage. Ingat tayo sa pagsasagot. Start to grasp the idea of conversation. Kaya pag may sinasabi ka, wala daw dito si mama. Ayun, isasabi yan nila. Tao po, andyan po si mama mo. Ay wala po raw siya, wala po daw siya, sabi niya. Oh, ikaw may kasalanan nun. Kasi hindi ka marunong magturo sa anak mo kung anong dapat isasagot. Such as how a short, mga pandak, maliliit. Kailangan you can describe, this is the shorter, this is the larger. Maliit or maiksi, mahaba. Baka sabihin mong maiksi tapos mahaba. Eh naku, balik ta rin. Gagayahin talaga yan ng mga bata. Eh ingat tayo. Then, white cups holds the same quantity of liquids as tall as thin glass. Ito, anong tawag nito? Baso? Wrong. Hindi to baso. This is a mug. Anong purpose ng mug? Ba't may hawakan? Para pag magtimpla tayo ng kape, hindi ka napapasok kasi mainit ang surroundings ito. Ito is a plastic cup. Hindi siya baso. Pwede siyang tawaging basong plastic. Kaya huwag tayong magplastikan. Genuine dapat. Huwag kayong magplastikan sa pagtuturo ng mga anak nyo. Kailangan isa puso para matuto din mga anak natin. Thoughts become more rational and structured. Remain very concrete. Kaya ingat na ingat talaga kayo. Start applying inductive thinking or extrapolating general truths from specific data. Now, thoughts can be extremely rigid, even yet they become considerably more sensible when in the concrete operational condition. During this stage of development, children frequently have trouble understanding hypothetical and abstract ideas. Kaya huwag kang magalit pag nagtatanong yung mga anak nyo, yung mga bunso nyong kapatid, pag nahihirapan kang magsagot, you need a break. Kailangan marunong kang magpakulo saglit. Pag masagot yan ni ate, o ikaw magwalis ng sahig, o di ba? Pag masagot yan ni kuya, ang totoo hindi mo alam ang sagot. O, gumagawa ka na ng paraan upang sa gayoy, maliban sa nalilibang mo yung kapatid mo, nakapag-isip ka rin ng maayos. Huwag diretso huwag ka magtanong-tanong, ay, nako, makatikim ka sa akin ngayon. Wrong. Di ba? Kuha niyo? Next, additionally, kids at this stage start to think about other people's thoughts and feelings and become less egocentric. The concept that one's thoughts are personal and that not everyone else necessarily shares them also starts to sink in for children in the concrete operational stage. Ayan, malapit na tayo sa pang-uli. Okay? Mabilis na silang mag-absorb, very observant na sila. Mama, kasi sabi ni Papa, ganito po raw, tahimik ka. Mama, kasi pag hindi ka tatahimik ka, makatikim ka sa akin. Wrong. Tanungin nyo, anong sinabi ni Papa? Ganon. Wag mong bulyawan anak nyo. Wag nyong sisigawan. Tanungin nyo lang, anong sinabi ni Papa sa'yo? Ganun po ba? Sige, hayaan mo. Itatanong natin ulit yan lahat, uwi ni Papa. Yun ang tama. Para ang bata magkakaroon ng feeling of comfortable in talking with you. Okay? The last stage of Jean Piaget's cognitive development is the formal operational stage. According to Piaget's theory, the final stage involves an improvement in logic, the capacity for deductive reasoning, and an understanding of abstract concepts. At this stage, adolescents and young adults are able to see multiple potential solutions to problems and think more scientifically about their surroundings. Mama, siguro kaya nagbaha kasi barado yun. Pasok. O ayaw mo makatikim. Mali. Oo nga anak, no? Kaya huwag kayo magpataka ng tapon ng basura ha. Kasi bumabaha. Pag may baha, delikado yan. Baka may ihi pa yan ng daga. Magka-leptos pa tayo o magka-leptos pa ikaw. Ipaliwanag ng maigi at ng maayos. Mama, Bakit pag umuulan, mama, bumabaha ka agad? Huwag mong sagutin, huwag kang panay tanong, dami mong tanong, tahimik ka dyan. Mali. Kasi, yung mga drainage natin, barado na masyado, dami ng basura. Mama, di ba hindi ba dapat ikalat yung basura? Dapat itapon sa basura? Kasi yun ang sabi ni teacher. Very good si teacher kasi tinuturuan si baby. I'm no longer be a baby. Ay, ikaw pa rin baby ni mommy ni daddy. Boy, big boy naman ako. Sige, big boy baby. O yan, yakap na nga, yakap. Yakapin nyo. Para ma-develop pa rin yung relationship nyo. Parang wala silang ilangan. Ikaw nagbibigay nan. At this stage, 12 years old and above, and older rather, major traits and development shifts during this period. Begins to consider hypothetical issues and reason in an abstract manner. Increased consideration of theoretical and abstract questions related to formal or moral, so to say moral, philosophical, ethical, social, and political issues. Moral, what is good? Continue. What is bad? What? Diminish. Ang tamang pagsagot, isama na doon sa morality. Asal, ethical, social, paano makikitungo. Political issue, wag muna yan anak kasi bata pa ikaw, hindi mo maintindihan masyado yung constitution. Saka na pag maglaki ka na ha, tatanong ulit kay mami at daddy yan ha, sagutan ka namin. Philosophical, sometimes pilosopo mga bata ngayon, tapos pilosopo ka rin magsagot, ay wala, mag-clash kayo parehas. Okay? Now, in this stage also, start using deductive reasoning or extrapolating from a broad principle to a specific piece of knowledge. Okay? The main characteristics of the formal operational stage of cognitive development is the capacity to think about abstract concepts and circumstances. Another crucial skills that develops at this period is the capacity to methodically prepare for the future. Minsan mga bata, mga anak natin, mga bata, minsan matatalino na masyado, magaling mag-isip. Ikaw, hindi ka marunong mag-isip, hindi ka marunong magbigay ng rational, yung philosophical way of thinking natin, very low masyado, pero yung mga anak natin, very high. Huwag kayong magalit. Tandaan mo, kung hindi dahil sa'yo, hindi sila magkaganon. We must learn to appreciate and embrace the way our sons, the way our daughters answering our questions. Tayo ang natuturo. Ayaw mo lang magpalamang kasi pride ka masyado dahil iniisip mo, ikaw mama, ikaw papa, ikaw ate, ikaw kuya, wrong. Okay? Relationship tayo. We are establishing the cognitive development of our children. Okay? In order for us to understand further what is inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning, inductive reasoning attempts to develop a theory. Dinidevelop niyang theory, whereas deductive reasoning aims to test an existing theory kung ito'y applicable pa ba or hindi na. This is the basic distinction between the inductive and deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning works the other way around, moving from individual facts to broad generalizations. Now, kanina sinasabi ko sa inyo about the scheme or schemas. A schema summarizes the mental and physical processes necessary for comprehension and knowledge. Schemas are categories of knowledge that aid in our interpretation and comprehension of reality. Interpretation and comprehension of reality. Paano natin naintindihan, paano natin naunawaan. Okay, hindi tayo magpataka ng interpret kung hindi natin intindihan at naunawaan. Okay? Assimilation. Assimilation is the process of integrating newly learned knowledge into 4 pre-existing schemas. We frequently alter our experiences and knowledge to conform with our pre-existing assumptions, making the process somewhat subjective. In the previous illustration, a dog was assimilated with a child dog schema when it was seen and labeled as a dog. Arr! Arr! Nahirap naman sabihin mong pusa yan, mali. Anong tunog ng pusa? Meow! Meow! Yan pusa. E paano yung pig? Oink! 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 Yan. Kailangan marunong. Paano yung rat? Yan. Huwag niyo na akong tanungin ka ng mga tigre kasi hindi ako marunong. Ay nako, kayo na magawa ng tigre sound yan para sa mga anak niyo, mga giraffe. Perapan niyo pa ako. Kayo na mag-assemble ng mga sound yan. Basta kung ano yung binigay niyo na sound, yun ang tamang sound para sa mga animals na hiningi nila. Okay? Now, let's try to have accommodation. The capacity to modify pre-existing schemas in light of new information is another aspect of adaptation. These procedures referred rather to as accommodation, rather. This method may also result in the creation of new schemas. So, has something to do pag sinabing dogs, apat na paa. Every time makakita siya ng apat na paa, dog. Kailangan marunong ka rin, not only dog, has a 4 legs. Also, the cat, the giraffe, the elephant, the tiger, but the man has only 2 feet and 2 hands. Okay? So, kailangan marunong kayo nun. Next, equilibrium. It's crucial to strike balance as children advance through the phase of cognitive development between assimilation, applying prior knowledge, and adaptation, adjusting behavior, or accommodation. Mahirap yun. This procedure has something to do with assimilation, applying prior knowledge, then adaptation, adjusting behavior. Okay, be careful talaga tayo. My dear friends who are watching and who are listening at the moment, ingat talaga tayo sa mga anak natin na from their cognitive development. Kasi tayo ang nag-utos para gayahin tayo. And according to Jean Piaget, every kid tries to find happy medium between assimilation and accommodation through a process in dubbed equilibrium. The equilibration explains how kids can progress from one level of thought to another. Always remember that Jean Piaget's theory in the cognitive development has something to do with the developmental stages of our babies from 0 up to 12 years old and older. Without Jean Piaget's theory, maybe it's so hard for us to define if only we follow the experiences na nakapaligid sa atin. Pero turuan tayo ng tamang gabay, tamang pamamaraan. At least hindi man natin naging magulang si Jean Piaget, pero yung pamamaraan niya using the psychological view of self. At ginamit natin yung sarili natin ngayon, ang siyang sandatan natin upang mapalaganap natin ang tamang pangangaral, tamang pag-aaruga, tamang pagmamahal para sa ating mga anak. Hanggang sa sunod na diskusyon, bago ko makalimutan, huwag niyong kalimutan panuorin The Unpacking the Self. Very challenging. Kasi makikita niyo yung dalawang klaseng personality ng tao. Me and I, and having a relationship with same, but still do not judge those particular actors who portray that kind of short film, because it has something to do also the way we assimilate and the way we accommodate the feelings and the cognitive on that particular scenario. Stay safe always. Bye bye for now. See you to our next discussion.